Hello friends, welcome back to Parijat Sir's classes. So today we will be discussing certain important topics of the trigonometric graphs. So I hope you are following my previous lectures and finding it some little bit easy. So if you are following that, thank you very much. I hope you keep on watching my videos because I keep on uploading these new topics. And today I'll be uploading the graph of the trigonometric equations, and this is of the class 11 level, but it's very important chapter. So I hope you follow that. And first of all, before starting the chapter, I want you to just have a look into these, whatever formulas I've written here. I just explain you what is that. You already know there are 4 quadrants. The first quadrant, sine, all trigonometric functions are they're positive, which is like if this is the quadrant, in the first quadrant all are positive, all positive. In the second quadrant it is sine and cosec, they are positive. In the third quadrant it is the tan and the cot positive, and in the fourth quadrant it is the cos and the sec positive. So this is 0 and 2 pi, this is pi by 2 which is 90 degree, this is pi, and this is 3 pi by 2. So what I want to explain you, that if I take sine pi by 2 minus theta, I am in the first quadrant, so it is positive. If I take cos pi by 2 minus theta, pi by 2 minus theta, I am in the first quadrant, it is positive. So if I multiply these two, positive and positive is positive. Similarly, sine pi by 2 plus theta is the second quadrant, sine is positive. Cos pi by 2 plus theta, in the second quadrant, cos is negative. So if I multiply these two, positive and negative is negative. Sine pi by plus, it is sine pi plus theta. Pi plus theta is in the third quadrant, sine is negative. Cos pi plus theta, third quadrant, cos is negative. So negative and negative, if I multiply these two, I will get positive. Similarly, sine 3 pi by 2 plus theta, 3 pi by 2 plus theta is the fourth quadrant, sine is negative. Cos 3 pi by 2 plus theta is the fourth quadrant where cos is positive. So if I multiply these two, it is negative and positive, answer is negative. Okay. Similarly, if you have sine theta equal to 0, the solution will be of the form theta equal to n pi. These are the basic things which I will be again teaching you, uploading a video in the trigonometric equations. For the time being, if I am doing the graphs, you just follow that if sine theta is 0, theta equal to n pi. If cos theta equal to 0, theta equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 will be the solutions. Because if you keep putting n as 0, 1, 2, 3, you will see that you are getting the values. Similarly, tan theta equal to 0, theta equal to n pi, where n will be taken as 0, 1, 2, 3. So you keep putting the values of n as 0, 1, 2, 3. You will keep getting the values of tan 0, sine 0, cos 0, then sine pi by 2, then cos pi by 2, tan pi by 2. These values I think you already know or in class 10, previous class. So basically, for the time being, you have to remember this, that if you are getting this sine as 0, cos as 0, tan as 0, what are the solutions? So let's get started about this chapter, which is about the graphs of trigonometric functions. Graph of the trigonometric functions. So first of all, graphs of the trigonometric functions. So let us first start with the graph of y is equal to sine x. Let us start with the graph of y is equal to sine x. Y is equal to sine x. Okay. So before that, I'll show you certain things. Graph, we are doing graph of y equal to sine x. and in that you see that if I am taking y is equal to sine x, we know that the values of the y, what is the domain? What is the domain? Domain means x. What is the domain of this value of x? I can choose any value from the real numbers. I can choose any value, 0, sine 0.1, sine 1.1, sine 30 degree, sine 40 degree, sine 60 degree, sine minus 30 degree, anything I can choose. So it will be x belongs to the real number. It will be x belonging to the real number. And range of sine x, y equal to sine x, that is range means finding the values of y. Now the maximum value of sine x is 1 and the minimum value of sine, the maximum value of sine is 1. When we put x as 90 degree, pi by 2, we get the maximum value of sine pi by 2, which is 1, and the minimum value of sine is when we put as minus pi by 2, so then we will get minus 1. So basically the range of the y is from minus 1 to 1. This is the range of y is equal to sine x. Okay? If we keep on putting sine as 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree, 60 degree, we will see that when sine is 90 degree, it gives the maximum value, and when sine is minus 90 degree, minus pi by 2, then it gives the minimum value. So based on that, let us plot the graph of y is equal to sine x. Okay, let us plot the graph of y is equal to sine x. For that, what I am doing is, I'll try to show you the proper plotting of the graph. So if this is the coordinate axis, if this is the coordinate axis, the x-axis, and this is the coordinate axis of y-axis. I hope it doesn't get little bit inclined. So here, this is the y-axis, this is the negative y-axis, this is the positive x-axis, and this is the negative x-axis. So here is 0. Here if I take as pi by 2, here if I take as pi, this is 3 pi by 2, and this is 2 pi. We will follow from 0 to 2 pi. We will follow from 0 to 2 pi. This is the range we will follow generally. And this is minus pi by 2. This is minus pi. This is minus 3 pi by 2. And this is minus 2 pi. And this is 1. And this is minus 1. This is minus 1. So let us see how does the graph of the sine varies. So I am showing you the graph of the sine. So at pi by 2, it will become the maximum. And at 3 pi by 2, it will become the minimum. And at 2 pi, it will be, at 2 pi, this will be, this is minus, this is 1. So if I plot the graph, then you see the value of the sine, if I plot on both sides, so you'll see that the value of the sine is varying from, this is, then this will at minus pi by 2, it will follow the maximum, and then at pi, it will become 0, and then at 3 pi by 2. So this is the graph of y equal to sine x. This is the graph of the sine x. So as I was telling you that, see, the maximum value of the value sine x graph, it is when sine is 0, when the angle is 0, when the angle is 0, if it is y equal to sine x, when the angle is 0, it is 0, and when the angle is pi by 2, see, it is 1, maximum is 1, and when the angle is 3 pi by 2, so see, this is minus 1. Similarly, when the angle is minus pi by 2, it is minus 1, and when the angle is minus 3 pi by 2, it becomes again plus 1. It becomes again plus 1. So if we see this, if we see the graph of the sine, pi by 2 minus theta, if you keep putting the values of the theta, like 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, and this is 360 degree, you will see that the value of the graph of the sine x goes like this, which means the maximum value of the sine is 1 and the minimum value of the sine is minus 1. So if I tell that the value of sine x, is coming as 4, now is it possible? It is never possible, because sine x's value, sine x will lie from minus 1 to 1. The range of sine x will lie from minus 1 to 1. So sine x equal to 4 is not possible. So this is the impossibility solution of the sine x, and so we can tell that the value of the sine x will lie from minus 1 to 1. Okay, so this was about the sine x. Now let us see the second, which is the cos x. So we'll find out the graph of the cos x. So let's see that one by one. Before that, let me rub it and prepare the graph for you, so it will be easy. So let's see how the graph continues. So this is 1 and this was this. Let me take a darker one. So this was minus pi, this was minus pi by 2, and this was pi. So let's see the graph of cos x. Y equal to, let's see the graph of cos x. Okay. So here, if I write down y is equal to cos x, see, cos 0 is 1 and cos 90 degree is 0. So the maximum value and the minimum value of cos is 1, and if it is cos 180 degree, it is minus 1. So we can see that the value of the cos again lies from 1 to minus 1. The value of the cos again lies from 1 to minus 1. So if I plot it, so we can see that if I plot it, we can see that when it is 0, if I plot it, so cos 0 is 1, so the point will be here. Cos 90 degree is 0, so the graph comes like this. Cos 180 degree is minus 1, so this, and cos 3 pi by 2 is 0. So this continues. And here also cos minus pi by 2 is 0. We know cos minus theta is cos theta. So cos minus pi by 2 is 0, and cos pi is minus 1. Cos pi is minus 1. So this is minus 1, and cos 3 pi by minus 3 pi by 2 will be 0. So this is the graph of the cos x. This is the graph of the cos x, where the domain, I can write the domain of that is the value of x will be x belongs to real number. Any value of the angles we can choose, negative or positive or decimals, whatever angle, that is, we can put any values of the angles. So the domain of the angle of cos x, that is the value of x, can be any real number. And the range, which is the value of the y, is what? It again belongs from -1 to 1. The value of cos x, range of cos x, varies from -1 to 1. As you can see that the minimum value of cos x is -1 and the maximum value of cos x is +1. Okay, so this is the graph of the function y equal to cos x. So let's see now the graph of the function y is equal to tan x. Let's see the function of the graph y is equal to tan x. So you have to always keep in mind that there are certain values of the trigonometric ratios like tan 60 degree, tan 30, tan 45, tan 90. As I think you already know that tan 90 is infinity. So you know those values. So let us again plot it. This is -3 pi by 2. This is minus pi. This is minus pi by 2. This is, so this value of, this is pi by 2. This is pi. This is 3 pi by 2. And this is 2 pi. So let's check the value of y is equal to tan x. Y is equal to tan x. So friends, you see, tan x, how can I write? It is sin x by cos x. Sin x by cos x. So we know that the function cannot be invalid function. So for the function to be invalid, cos x should not be 0. Cos x should not be 0. For the function to be invalid, that means the solution not possible, the only condition is that the cos x should not be 0. And as I told you here, that cos theta, if it is 0, what is the condition? The condition is 2n plus 1, theta should be 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That means I cannot make cos x 0. That means x, I cannot choose 2n plus 1 pi by 2. I cannot choose cos as 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Let's see, if n is 0, it is pi by 2. And we know cos pi by 2 is 0. So it is making it 0. That means I cannot choose n as 1, n as 0. If I choose n as 1, it is 3. So 3 pi by 2. Again cos 3 pi by 2 is 0. That means again it is making cos x as 0. But I can't make cos x as 0 because the function will become invalid. That means what can be my domain? What can be my domain of this function? I can choose x as any real value but not 2n plus 1 pi by 2. I can choose any value of x as angle, any real values, but not 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Because choosing 2n plus 1 pi by 2, cos x is becoming 0, and if it is 0, then the whole function becomes invalid. Okay, so this is the domain, and now let us see the plotting. Let us see the plotting of y equal to tan x. So let's see the function y equal to tan x, how it will be. We know, watch here, suppose y is equal to tan x, which is sin x by cos x. So friends, watch, tan will be maximum when sin is maximum, and the maximum value of sin is when it is 1. The maximum value of sin is 1, and tan will be minimum when sin is minimum. When sin is minimum, which is -1, okay. Now see, as x tends to 90 degree, cos 90 is 0. That means the function of y is becoming infinite. That means I can tell that when x will tend to 90 degree, the value of the function will become, let us see here, if I choose sine as pi by 2 minus theta and cos pi by 2 minus theta, that means I am in the first quadrant. I am in the first quadrant, and the first quadrant, if I multiply these two, the answer will be positive. So the function will become like this. The function will become like this, and friends, watch here that as x is tending to 90 degree, as x tends to 90 degree, it is tending to 0. Tending to 0 means infinite. So the y function, the graph moves towards the infinite. Similarly, as x tends minus pi by 2, this function is tending to minus infinity. So the graph will be like this. So the graph will be like this. Similarly, so this is what? It is pi by 2 minus theta. Pi by 2 minus theta, sine is positive, cos is positive, so the result is positive. This is what? Pi by 2 minus, this is what? This is minus pi by 2 minus theta, minus pi by 2 minus theta. So that is making it what? Minus pi by 2 minus theta will be sine, the function will become negative infinity, so it is tending to minus. This is the negative infinity. Similarly, if I take pi minus theta, if I take pi plus theta and pi minus theta, so watch here, it is pi by 2 plus theta. If I take pi by 2 plus theta, sine is positive, cos is negative, so the answer is negative. That means if I choose any value from here, pi by 2, this is pi by 2 plus theta. So result will be what? The result will be minus. That means if I choose from here, if I choose a function from here, so the function will be what? This will tend to so if I choose pi by 2 plus theta, pi by 2 plus theta, sine is positive, cos is negative, result is negative. So it will be like this. And if I choose pi plus theta, if I do pi plus theta, sine is negative, cos is negative, answer is positive. So see, the graph is moving towards the positive infinity. The graph is moving towards the positive infinity. Similarly, if I take this, if I choose from this side, it is pi minus theta will make, minus of pi minus theta will make it negative, and the function will be like this. Function will be like this. It is pi plus theta but minus.